We're going to be covering 5 essential drill music video effects that you need to be adding to your videos. I recommend you guys watch this video all the way to the end because number 1 is crazy and I use it on all of my edits. I made this video to essentially give you guys 5 effects that are just so crazy you always want to have in your pocket at all times to put on your edits. If you guys like tutorials that are quick and at the point, I recommend subscribing because all my videos are like this. We don't waste any time around here. Let's hop right into it. So starting off at number 1, we're going to be covering flicker transitions, which are so easy to create inside of Premiere Pro. And you're going to think for a second, flicker transitions, like those aren't that crazy, but trust me, when you guys add them and mix them with other things and other effects, it adds so much more energy to your video. So let me show you guys how I do them inside of here. So we're going to go into our project, we're going to right click, create a new item, and we're going to create an adjustment layer, hit OK, and bring that on top of our footage here. Now, what we want to do now is click on our adjustment layer, go up into effects, and we're going to go into brightness and contrast right here, and we're going to drag and drop that on top of our adjustment layer. Now going into effect controls here, you guys can see we have this brightness and contrast tab. We're going to go right to where this transitions, which is right here. And we are going to create 2 keyframes and we're going to turn the brightness up and the contrast up just like that. And it looks a little bit crazy right now, but we're going to make it look better. We're going to basically click on this and go back 5 frames. We're going to add 2 more keyframes and we're going to bring these back to 0. And we're going to go forward from the keyframe 5 frames and bring this back to 0. And we'll get something like this. So that already adds a nice transition as it brightens up, but you can mix around and get something really crazy, especially if we zoom in here and we copy this keyframe and we put it like here, and then we copy this bright one and we put it here, and then we copy this one and put it here, copy the bright one, put it here. You're just mixing around. You're going from light to dark, bright, we get something like this. So we get a nice flicker there, and don't be afraid to go back on them and mess with the contrast. Like if you want to make it dark like this, you can do that as well. You get some cool looks, especially if you move around the keyframes here and put them super close together or further apart. It's just fully customizable. Treat it to your own liking. Number 1, this one is kind of just like a base to overlay on top of these other effects that are coming next. All right, so moving on to number 2, guys, we have hits, shakes, transitions. All those above are so important in drill videos to just add so much energy to your footage. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing and drag that adjustment layer back into here. You guys are gonna notice there's a very common theme with using adjustment layers inside of Premiere Pro to create effects. So basically what we're gonna do is just like before, we can either use this clip or we could go into one of these ones here. Let's go into this one here. So now that we have our adjustment layer on here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into effects here and we're going to open up presets, and we're going to open up my fast movement effects bundle, which will be linked below if you guys want to check it out. Basically inside of this pack comes with a bunch of hits, shakes, wipes, flickers, all of the above. It's honestly the best thing to have for music videos and drill music videos inside of Premiere Pro. I put so much time and effort into it. As you guys can see, there are so many different transitions, and let me show you guys how they work. So to the right, you guys can see it says 4 frames, or it'll say something like 4 to 6 frames or 8 frames. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by making it 6 frames. Let's cut that and let's make a few of these here and go over what some of these do. Starting off in the V3, which is the newest one, we could drag on soft hit with flash here, and you guys could see if we play this through, we get such a nice hit. And if we go to this next one here, if we put on hard wipe, we'll get something like this. And then with this one here, let's go with a aggressive hit with flash. And then for this one here, let's do shake 2 with flash. Those are honestly just so gas. You guys saw it literally in just a drag and drop. You had some crazy hits. So if we take these and we go back to our original clip here, we can then experiment and see how these look cutting between this transition. So we have just a hard cut here of him with the money. Let's take this adjustment layer and put it directly in between. So you guys can see it takes it from this to something like this. Or we could do the wipe. That looks so gas. Oh my God. Or we can do the shake. Honestly, guys, I only showed you guys 4 of them, but there is so much in this pack. I highly recommend you guys check it out down below. I use it on all of my videos. The very next one is so important to energy and flow of your video. We're going to be covering speed ramping. So if you guys don't know what speed ramping is basically taking your footage and slowing it down and speeding it up to the beat and making the video flow with it. You can do this by shooting your video in 60 FPS, 120 FPS, so you can really achieve those effects because all videos are pretty much rendered in 24 or 30 FPS. So if you shoot your videos in that, you won't be able to slow them down. I have a bunch of videos covering speed ramping, but if you guys don't know how to do it, I'm just going to cover it super quickly in here. So we can go back to this clip here. You guys can see it's regular speed, and then he's going to cut it and make it slow-mo. Right there, it goes into slow-mo, and I believe he shoots in 120 FPS. You guys can see it goes back to normal speed and then slow-mos again when he puts his fingers together. So all he's doing there, guys, is right when it cuts to slow-mo, he's cutting his clip, right-clicking on it, going to speed and duration, and changing it to 50% speed. Like I said, this will only work if you shoot 60 or 120 FPS. And you can make it a little bit smoother by going into time interpolation and turning on optical flow here. And obviously, it's not going to give us the same effect because he did shoot in that frame rate. This is just a video downloaded from YouTube. You guys can see we still get something super smooth. And then just like before, when it speeds up, all I did was cut it, right-click, go to speed and duration and make it back 100. And then right when it got to the point where he wanted to slow it down again, with his fingers crossed, he just right clicked on it, did the exact same thing, speed and duration, made it 50%. And then you guys could see it's already checked on optical flow. Looks so clean, guys. And very next, guys, we got this effect that's pretty much in almost every drill music video. We have either a gunshot effect or a glass breaking effect. You guys can see in this one, it's a little bit more unique. It's glass breaking with blood. You guys can do this super easily just by adding shakes. So you can do it using the fast movement effects pack that I showed you guys earlier. All you're gonna do is take your clip with the adjustment layers here and just take a couple shakes just like this. Put them on top of your video, and then you guys can see where does he get the glass from, where does he get the blood from. All this stuff is on YouTube. I'm just gonna go ahead and search up glass breaking overlay. And then boom, you guys can see there are a bunch that you can download here and see their black backgrounds. All you actually have to do is set them onto screen, which will remove the black part, and you will have an overlay just like in the video. And you can do the exact same thing with blood. I bring it inside of here. Like I said, all we're gonna do is just change that to screen. So we're gonna click on it, go to effect controls and turn it on screen. You can see it gets rid of the black and we just have this glass breaking effect here, which we could zoom up, and let's put it on top of this one just so it does not in the way. Boom. Looks so clean there, and you guys could even speed it up like before just so it's a little bit faster. Let's do 150. And if you mix some hits with that, just like this, and then do the exact same thing with the blood overlay inside of here. There are a bunch inside of here, guys, that you could add. For green screen, all you're gonna do is add a color key and key out the green. And you can do the exact same thing with gunshot overlays and all that stuff there. The key is just mix them with sound design, shakes, and make sure you're compositing them super well. And then last but not least, guys, we're gonna be covering the ultimate sauce when it comes to speed ramping, when it comes to all these effects built into your drill music video. I'm not lying when I tell you this, guys, it's the absolute sauce here. So if we go to a clip like this, guys, you get that super smooth motion blur, especially when he's zooming up. So you could either shoot this in low shutter on your camera, or you can make it super smooth by adding something called RSMB. Now, this is not sponsored. I'm not paid by RSMB to promote this, but if we go into new item, we create an adjustment layer just like before, drag it on top of our clip, wherever we're doing speed ramping, shakes, anything above like that, we want to go into effects and put on RSMB. I like Pro. And then going into effect controls here, you guys can see we have blur amount. So this is super important here. What this is going to do is it's going to make all of the motion, you guys can see it blurs it a lot there, and turning this number up, it's going to make it even more blurry. So for your speed ramping clips, especially like this, where it speeds up, slows down, speeds up, slow down, you want to put RSMB on this to hide the imperfections and to make it so much smoother and make it look so appealing to the human eye. Honestly, once you're done doing all your speed ramping and everything inside of your video, I highly recommend just adding RSMB to the entire thing on top on an adjustment layer and just playing with the intensity on certain parts. If it gets a little bit too intense, just cut that area out on the adjustment layer and go and level it down on here. But yeah, guys, that is all of my essential drill music video effects that I think you guys need to know for your videos. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Like I said earlier, I don't waste any time on my videos. If you guys want to support the channel, my editing packs are linked below. Fast movement effects bundle is absolutely crazy, as you guys saw. I recommend checking that one out. And we also have a brand new plugin for After Effects called Surveillance as well. Also, check out this video right here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.